Red Velvet, Pinkie Pie, A True Love by Swedish Down. In Cloudsdale, there lives a pegasi by the name Red Velvet. She lives there with her parents, Green Tea Bliss and Key Limp Whip. Her parents is running a family bakery, which has been running for generations, and her father was the next one in the road to run it. And she even Red Velvet loves to help her parents in the bakery. She even loves to be with her friends Fluttershy, Rainbow Dash, and even Derpy. But there is just one thing that she has. She has a secret. She had, and the secret is that she is a lesbian. She only likes mares. And she hasn't even told her parents about it. The only ones who knows about it is Rainbow Dash and Fluttershy and Derpy. She hasn't even told any other ponies about it, because the reason that she hasn't even told her parents about this, she is afraid to be kicked out of the house, or that they, at least to be kicked out and be disowned, being outcast of the family. So that is the reason she hasn't even told her. But she told her friends when she was about 15 years old. Even she had sometimes wanted to date a mare, but she was afraid if that would turn out that her parents would find out about that. So she had lived in a fear of being alone. But one day when she visited her friends in Poland for some time, but she wants to found her true love somewhere, but even if it means that she will get disowned by her own parents. But one day when she was in Ponyville for a visit to visit Rainbow Dash and Derpy, Rainbow Dash was very happy to see Red Velvet again. They haven't seen each other for at least a year, since Red Velvet has been working in the family bakery for months, and she has been so busy with her work with so many deliveries over some. But this was the first time she had is at least the time she could take a big break from all the work. So she decided to spend time with Rainbow in Ponyville for at least a couple of weeks. And one day when she was there, Rainbow Dash had to work with the Wonderbolts. So Red Velvet decided to take a walk through town just to see what else can be something to do. She was kind of bored. So she decided to explore town to see what else could be there, if something to be found. Then, when she passed Sugarcube Corner, she saw a pink mare. She saw this mare was very hyperactive. She was very funny. She could saw from the window that she's running back and forward, baking and baking a cake and then some cupcakes and back and forward. She had never seen any other pony baking with so much energy, but also she had fallen in love with this mare. And according to Red Vallis, but what she heard from her friend Rainbow, that it was her friend Pinkie Pie, who works at this local cafe, and she had told a lot about Pinkie, that she is very hyperactive, but still loyal friend, and helped her friends to save Equestria from the Storm King, the Chrysalis Changelings, and even the T-Rex twice. and even helped to defeat Discord twice before he was reformed. But the most time, she wanted to go in there to talk to Pinkie and introduce herself, then maybe order some cupcakes or something. But she was afraid that she was even not afraid, but she was more nervous. So she left. She went to the park to sit down and just relax. But she couldn't get Pinkie Pie off her mind because Pinkie was so very much hyperactive with so much energy. She wanted to go up to back there and maybe talk to Pinkie, but she didn't want it to make the moment as awkward. So she actually did went back there, and Pinkie was just happy to see a new pony in town, and she even bought cupcakes from her. And Pinkie said that she always happy to see new ponies in town and asked if she wanted like a party for it, but she said that she also only there for a visit, that she is from Cloudesdale and she's a friend of Fluttershy and Derpy and Rainbow Dash, and that she lives with Rainbow Dash just for a short time before she is going back home. Red Violet was going to be in Ponyville just for a short time, for about a week. And during the next few days after, Red Violet spent so much time with with Rainbow Dash and Derpy. They talked so much about it, and even they had asked Red Violet if she had found her special sound pony yet, or even dated him. But Red Violet said, "No, I haven't, because, my parents." "Oh, yeah," said Rainbow. "Perhaps they need some support," said Derpy. "Yeah, perhaps. But I want to tell them," said Rabbit. "Maybe it's time for me to tell them who I am," said Red Velvet. And she decided to tell her parents the next day when she came back home. And Red Velvet actually left Ponyville and went back home. But then, when she was there, she was so nervous to talk to her parents about this. But in fact, she didn't know that Rainbow Dash had asked to be with her, to follow with her to the bakery as moral support. And she actually didn't mind to have at least some point with her as support if something went wrong. Then, when she was there, she actually talked to Rainbow Dash a little bit more. She was actually more afraid than ever and nervous at the same time. Now they were just standing outside the bakery. Red Violet and Rainbow Dash went into the bakery and she saw her parents was full in the work of baking pies, cookies, and cakes, or anything they could bake there. They were just happy to see the daughter, but they even asked how she was feeling now, how much if she had fun on her vacation, and she said she had. But they were something that they talked about. So she asked if they could take a break from their work just for a moment. She had to tell them something. So they did take a break. Rainbow Dash stood behind her, next to her, while she then told to her parents about that she was a lesbian. She was prepared to take the screaming and yelling from her parents and saying that she isn't their daughter anymore and that she will never be part of the family anymore. But both Rainbow and Red Violet were so impressed, stunned. They was not prepared for hearing that Red Violet's parents was actually supportive her. They actually told her that her mother told that when she was in her age, she actually had a friend who also was a lesbian, but she was also surprised that her parents were not supportive about it. But her mother, Green Tea Bliss, had told her friend when she was just in her age that she support her friend and she support her own daughter about her decisions. And how would Red Violet react? She actually was so happy that her parents supported her. She ran up to them and hugged them both, and she thanked them for the support. So Rainbow Dash and Red Violet decided to go back to Ponyville. They flew all the way back. They landed right outside Sugar Cube Corner, so Red Violet could talk to Pinkie Pie. But she was so nervous about it. She wanted to tell Red Pinkie how she felt. But before she did it, she talked to the Rainbow Dad for just a moment outside. How do you think I even should tell her? Of course you should tell. How do you don't know how she might feel for you? At least there is something I should tell you. Oh? Pinkie isn't like anybody else. Yeah, I noticed that. You're so energetic, yeah, but Pinkie also likes both mares and stallions. Oh? Yeah, she hasn't even told much of many opponents about this, and she hasn't even dated many mares before, but you get the picture. But at least you should tell her how you feel about her, and yeah, go for it. And Red Velvet is actually hugging, well, Rainbow because of the support on this pep talk. And then she went in. And Pinkie was surprised to see Red Velvet inside the store. In the bakery. She actually walked up to her. There was no customers in this bakery. And Mr. and Mrs. Cake was even home at the time. So they had more privacy as they could need it. Red Violet walked up to Pinkie and then told her about this. And she even tried to make a conversation with Pinkie, but Pinkie was so busy with the baking, but she tried to talk to her. But she tried, and she tried. But Pinkie couldn't listen so much. She had to bake the pies, the cookies, so much as well. But then she said right out, "I love you, Pinkie." And Pinkie just stopped and looked at Red Violet. But no other mares had told Pinkie that in a long time. And Red Violet stood there now, blushing as red as a strawberry in her face. And just before even Pinkie had a chance to even respond back, Red Violet had just left the bakery and she disappeared nowhere. In fact, she had actually hid in Rainbow Dash hole. She remembered a week before that she was with Derpy at a local restaurant and eating lunch. They were eating hamburger when Derpy was talking about her work. Well, Red Violet was eating, but then she sees Pinkie Pie talking with Applejack. She even asked Derpy who she was, and Derpy tells that that's a Pinkie Pie that she works at the local bakery, Sugar Cube Corner, and also the party organizer in town. Red Violet remembers that she was had fallen in love with her even then, but she not even fallen in love with her. She just thought that Pinkie was very beautiful, and even reminds her of herself. And later that the same night, after when she had time in Rainbow Dash home, she couldn't get Pinkie Pie out of her head because how cute and how sweet you are. She literally couldn't stop thinking about Pinkie Pie since she was the most beautiful mare she ever seen. She even wonders, will she ever had any chance with Pinkie Pie? Since Pinkie has been working in at Sugar Cup Corner almost for many years, at least they both have something in common. But Red Violet wanted to tell Pinkie more about herself, but now after she told Pinkie how she feels for her, she was now more nervous and even scared how about this was going to happen. 2 days later, when she was spending time with Rainbow Dash, she even asked Rainbow Dash about Pinkie Pie and what type of things she liked to do, since Rainbow tells about when she asked Red Violet if she likes Pinkie in that way. And all Red Violet can do is just blush as red as her mane, tail, and eyes. That confirms for Rainbow Dash that Red Violet has fallen in love with Pinkie. And she wonders, should she help Red Violet to ask Pinkie out? But how? But at the same time, she didn't want to do it. But she even asked Red Violet if she wanted to ask Pinkie out on a date. But she was not even prepared for even ask her out. But then she decided to even ask Pinkie out. So she actually left Rainbow Dash to look for Pinkie Pie. And she actually found her at the park. She even asked Pinkie Pie then if she even would like to go out with her. For a moment, Pinkie was quiet. And then she just said, yes. And she was smiling at Red Violet. And she said that they can go out within 4 days. And Pinkie didn't mind that. Now she was happy.